2, 1, rolling.
Hey, you're listening to volume 113 of the Strange Grooves podcast. I'm Cherise Letson.
I'm Kate Milbury.
And before we get into this week's episode with our awesome guest, Brent Mason, welcome back.
Hi, Brent.
Hey guys.
We'd like to give a shout out to our awesome Patreon supporters.
You want to get on this page? We can make it happen.
If you want to hear us say your name,
say your name, say your name.
you can become a patron. And there's lots of other cool perks as well, besides hearing your name at the beginning of every show.
You should see the perks now. But anyways,
yes. Okay.
I digress.
Yes. All right. So, shout out to Brad Davis,
Chuck Healy,
Corey McGill of McGill's,
Colin Walshoots,
Michael Hawkins,
Mary Hicks,
Glenn Hicks of U Station,
Brent Harris,
Kaylin Capson,
James Mullinger,
Brennan Parker,
and our newest Patreon subscription member,
Nick Curtis. Thank you so much.
We really appreciate all of your pledges and helping us keep the show going. It really does help us, make sure that we've got the stuff that we need to keep going and to make sure that we've got great guests and you can hear us really well. So thanks so much for supporting the show.
Absolutely. And as Kate said, there is some new packages over on the Patreon. So go to patreon.com/strangegrooves or go to our website, strangegrooves.com. There's a button there and you can check it all out.
You can just check it right out.
Right out.
Right out. Okay, yeah.
All right.
We can see how this episode's going to go.
All right.
You can see it already.
Very good.
Brent, welcome back to the show. Thank you.
Thank
it's
you.
Always a pleasure.
It's more than that. It's great. It's just I'm thrilled to be back here. Yeah.
So for people that perhaps are new listeners, there is an event that you are hosting next month in May, the Bob Dylan Birthday Bash. So for those who are, not local to St. John or just new listeners, I guess, what is this event?
It's it's actually not his birthday, is it? But it's
close.
It was the only available Saturday at the Imperial.
It's his birthday month. It's fine.
But we actually are doing a birthday bash in Fredericton on his birthday at the Playhouse as well as an aside. So the thing's
Strangers
expanding.
on the move.
It's expanding, But when Dylan turned 69, it occurred to me that it might be a good idea to have a birthday party for him here in St. John with some of my music friends. And there was a wonderful little venue called the Blue Olive down at Rossay Avenue. And we sold that shack out and we had an amazing time. Like a truly I didn't have great expectations. I'm not being a Dickens guy, but it exceeded whatever I thought might happen. People, we got to do this again next year. And here we are 12 years later, and we're still doing it. And it's moved. I moved it around. I'm rambling here now, but I moved it around just to keep it a little fresh. So we did a couple of years at the Olive, a couple of years in Hampton, a couple of years in Rossay, a couple of years at the Uptown Pub in the North End, and then a couple of years at Steamers. And then I was approached by the Imperial last year to see if I wanted to kind of move it into the soft seats, and we did. And in spite of COVID restrictions and realities, we sold quite a few tickets, almost all that they could, and then they did a live stream with it as well, and it was a really different feel to the thing than the sweaty kind of 4-hour drinking session at the bars. It was like tight and 2 sets and everybody's got to stay on time, but it visually and sonically superior, fantastic, So that's the short story.
Well, I find it interesting because obviously, I find it cool when people change the scenery or legitimate scenery of an event, because if it's always at the same place all the time, there becomes a tradition with it where you get excited and you're obviously anticipating it, but then it's a whole other vibe if you switch the location. Yeah, and it does become a little bit more accessible to maybe folks in that area who wouldn't have come out, so it actually gets them involved too. So I think it's good, and then it kind of makes maybe the same old crowd work a little bit harder to come out and support those artists and actually looking into the solo stuff that they're doing.
It's really true, yeah. I remember the one at the pub down under. I mean, not a great music venue, really, long and narrow. But, place is jammed, and people are outside, doing what they do outside and coming back. And I came to the back of the room just to check the sound at one point, and I'm standing beside Wendell Clark, the Toronto Maple Leaf, the ex-Leaf. He had heard about the show. Right. So he said, but, there's Wendell Clark at the Dylan show kind of at the back. And I said, hey, Wendell. And he said, hey, that was it.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
That's great, actually.
But it does, more to your point, people tend to stake out the same turf at a concert. Do you find? Like,
Yeah.
I know if I'm at a show, like we always go sort of just to the left of the soundboard, and it shakes it up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the last year's show was amazing. So I got a virtual ticket. And it was such a cool visual experience. Like, it looked so good. The Imperial Theatre setup was so great. And all the performances were incredible. I think the most notable one for me, I don't think I ever talked about this on the show, but Sadie's version of To Ramona. I was like, thank goodness I'm not out in public because I was like, I had tears in my eyes. I was like, damn it, Sadie.
She's incredible anyway. I'm a fan of everything really that she does, but that was a really killer version of that. And they've got 12. You're watching it at home, and they've got like 12. I think they had 12 different cameras that they're incorporating into the production. And I watched some of it afterwards, and it's incrable what they can do these days.
Yeah.
Really.
Shout out to the crew at the Imperial Theatre.
Yeah,
we know a lot of you guys, and we appreciate it. Yes, absolutely, absolutely to the Imperial Theatre. We were just there for Classic Albums Live, and every time I go, I'm always very, very excited to go to the Imperial.
And isn't it great that you're seeing, like, I don't know how well you know them, but a lot of them are my friends, and they're just delivering this world-class product in this world-class facility, and it makes you feel good about where you live and the people that you're doing stuff with,
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about the lineup this year? Who's on deck to perform?
Which one, Fredericton?
This is like the Rolling Thunder review.
Yeah.
Love this. Yeah. So for St. John, I guess who's on deck to play?
I'm being a bit facetious. I'm just really happy that it's so. On the 24th, on his actual birthday, is going to be at the Playhouse. But I've had to cut down the amount of performers because it's the Imperial, and it's a 2 hour 15 instead of 4. So there's 6 performers, and the first one will be a guy. He's from Charlotte County, but he's a great songwriter from St. John named Ian McDonald. I met Ian just coming to the O'Leary's open mics, and he's got some fantastic songs, and he's a Dylan guy. And I remember he asked me maybe like 3 years ago, what do I got to do to get in on the Dylan show? And it was all lockdown, right, in terms of I had it scheduled. And I was really happy to be able to say to him last fall or last winter, where was this spring? I don't even know where we are anymore. Last fall, I guess, or spring or something. I said, hey, do you want to do it? And he's thrilled to do it. So he'll probably be going on solo, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But we have this nice thread, like a Facebook thread where, it's a bit of a blood sport about what songs people get to pick and stuff like that. So it's
like Hunger Games.
yeah. In a way, right? So
as the person who's not the big Dylan fan here, I'm just like, that just seems like,
that's fierce. Like, I feel like there's and maybe you can confirm, like, I feel like the competition is fierce for certain songs.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, you're right. I had to deviating to Fredericton again, but I thought I had reserved, I love singing Tangled Up in Blue. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs ever, and I thought I had reserved it in the thread with the Fredericton people. And no, I didn't. So one of the people, just posted, well, I'm doing this and this and this. And I said, no, I've got Tangled Up in Blue. And he goes, go up the thread. And I was like, shit. So I don't have Tangled Up in Blue.
Spicy.
So Ian is going to play, and Catherine Kennedy and her trio are going to play after. And I know we were at her record release a few weeks ago, and I hadn't really seen her. I'd seen her do something solo a few years ago, when she was younger, and I was really amazed at her, just the breadth and depth of her musicality and her vocals and the writing and everything about what she does and her poise and her stage presence and everything, right? So
if I was being honest, I just picture her later with a big, massive band behind her, a Tedeschi Trucks or something crazy, because she's got
the arrangements would allow that. You could see horns or you could see strings or
My brain kind of does that sometimes. I'm not a musician, but when I was sitting there, I just kept wanting. There was just something. It felt like it was not missing, but just something that could be added.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
and
it
I'm
does.
not trying to disparage any. I'm not,
Not
a
at all.
musician.
No shade.
I'm not. No, not at all.
No,
It just.
the sun is shining brightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I just could picture it a couple years down the road and it being this big rock band or something.
Yeah.
You know?
It's her music has got a lot of different layers to it that would allow that. So, so
I love Josh on guitar too. That was awesome.
Yeah, and you know, the lovely band with Clinton and Sandy and Josh as well, for sure. Josh McKinley is also part of the crew at the Imperial occasionally. Won't be that night.
Yeah, he's on deck.
and Austin Eatman's 4-piece band, I think, are going to be on the bill.
Cool.
Yeah. I had a late minute cancellation maybe a month ago from someone that was going to be doing it, and Austin did it at maybe 2.
Charisse has been practicing. She's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Well, you gotta reach out, man.
She's on the thread already, Brent. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I'm on the
She's
thread.
the alias that got tangled up in blue. She's gonna rock it hard.
yeah. Visions of Joanna
New
tangled
age
up in
share.
blue.
Oh my god!
Claimed.
No one wants to see that. People make fun of Dylan's voice.
Drunk
Wait till you
Reese,
find it.
I definitely would hear that song. I bet you'd be really good.
I could like recite Last Thoughts on Woody Guthrie, maybe like a spoken word kind of thing.
You know, someone did that one year.
What?
At the pub down under, Sean Roach did that.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. It's so underrated.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
He just read the thing in the midst of this sort of felt like gremlins in there, you know.
Yeah.
And he's reading this piece. It was beautiful. He's somewhere on a cruise ship in San Diego now, I think, or something.
So that spot's open. Noted for next. So noted for next year.
but Austin Eatman is a great player and songwriter and just performer. You know, he really brings it. He doesn't mail it in ever that I've ever seen. He's got a really good voice too. So he played it a couple of maybe 3 years ago and wowed the place with a different band. And anyway, so he's doing it. And then there are 3 kind of regular acts. Can you say act? You know, do you juggle? Do you have cymbals between your knees? I don't know. One is Grant Heckman, who plays it he's played every one. Grant is an Ontario transplant who's become a really vital part of St. John's music scene in terms of both playing, but helping people with production and helping record. He's got a basement studio over on Princess Street, and he plays a lot with Mike Vigor, but he's an incredible guitar player and just a great guy and a huge Dylan fan. So his claim to fame at this show is that he's never repeated a song after 12 years. He plays 3 or 4 different songs. Everyone's getting 3 songs because of the time constraint. So he's never repeated a tune. And I mean, there's a huge catalog, but I know I've repeated it.
Again, I'm not the Dylan fan, so I have to just keep adding these funny
I love
things
your
that I see.
insights though.
No, you know, like in the thing where he's like, "We are the world," you know, that where he's like in the thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if at the end of the show, everybody in the crowd and on stage does the song together?
Oh my god!
Right? And
everyone
has a
just
buzz
looks
on, and everyone's
unimpressed.
just like, no, maybe everybody's thriving. Maybe everybody's half in the bag. Everybody on stage is having a good time, but you'd be like,
doing what song? We Are the World?
No, we don't know. Whatever the last song of the night is.
Well, we do tend to have a last song of the night.
I just think that in my mind, that's what I picture.
Iconic clip.
Yeah, that's
Right near the end, all your performers, all the acts just come out one by one, and they all just start adding in the lyrics, and you all sing it together, and then the crowd's just like, wow.
Yeah.
If you
Get
are
into show
willing
planning.
to put that together,
Let's
we
go.
can make it happen.
All right, we got a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Watch out, Facebook thread. I'm hopping in.
Just infiltrating the thread.
Yeah, there could be something weird happening. Stranger.
Strange.
A strange groove will occur.
I only bring it up because I've been going out to a couple of shows recently, and honestly, some of them are just going off when they're out at shows, double fisting beers at the Imperial and whatnot. And so
you were at classic albums.
Oh,
it's always like
but
that.
But even Blue Rodeo, anything I've been going to, people are just wild. They've never had drinks before, never gone.
I've never been at a show.
So and it's so then you have them where it's this beautiful show and everything, and then everybody's just trying to sing the lyrics, but you catch these frames of them trying to sing it. I think that would be so
with double
awesome.
I think
how does it so feel? Good.
Well, that's what I mean. That's the thing with people say about Bob Dylan when he performs, he doesn't sing like to the exact tune of the songs, because you imagine a whole like amphitheater singing like Bob Dylan together in unison.
Oh my God! Maybe that's why I thought it was just to keep it interesting.
I could have probably, but I thought about that too, and I was like, but think about a whole like football field singing.
That's what I mean. At the Imperial, it'd be so fun.
How does it feel?
Like everyone just.
And why is that even like? I mean, honestly, why is that even silly? Like we all do it. Like
it's true.
All artists and musicians have those. Like when Steely Dan is, he's always going yes or like shoes or like weird things, right? So like if you go out and you're singing their songs, you're like, ooh, those shoes, right? And then people are obviously going to be like, you're going to hear those like syllables. So I just think it'd be funny as the non-Dylan fan to see you all being like. Or
I love like
Dylan does.
I really like you gotta come with me this year because I would love to you just to see, because I'm gonna be experiencing the Primus fandom with you next month,
right?
And so this is like the week before we go, so I think like you get to see just a bunch of Dylan fans together, and just like it'll be like a sociological experience for you.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
It's a pharmacological.
Yes, it will. It needs to be at this point. I'm just joking. Am I?
So Grant, yes.
Sidetracked.
No,
so the light up. No, I love that.
I don't mind. I'm going to rate. I'm in charge of the show now. No, so Grant Heckman and Jessica Ray and the Ramshackle Parade play it every year as well, and she kills it. I'm a fan anyway, and she's a good friend, and we write the odd song together. A sidebar from I guess the last time we talked was before the show last year, right before. So Jessica put out a record 2 years ago of all because she's gotten so into. Have you heard her record?
Yes.
Yeah. Just Like a Woman. It's called, and it's all Dylan covers, and it's some lovely stuff on there. So this is a really fun fact. So right before his birthday last May, Jessica, through a publicist, I think, probably hired a publicist, but reached out to people who would be playing Dylan stuff on his birthday. Lots of stations around the States and Europe or whatever. And she had previously done a little video. I don't mean to diminish it. It wasn't a little video, but it's, not a high production thing. Just her and Sandy and McKay and Bill Preeper walking around singing "Blowing in the Wind" in different settings in St. John or Hampton or whatever. Put the thing up. It had about 10,000 hits, about the same hits as, say, the unfunctioning elevator at the aquatic center would have. And
Jesus Christ.
You're right.
Yeah.
And after his birthday, the views of that video started to climb because people heard the DJs playing the song, and it's at over 6 million YouTube views now. That's amazing. It's beyond amazing. So I think her husband was like carrying out piles of CDs and vinyl to the post office every day and firing them all over the world. But to get 6 million views,
that's great, on
YouTube is extraordinary. I mean, you can't monetize that because it's all Dylan songs, right? But she can sure use it to promote her own music. With she has a new record coming out. Right, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal, especially too. Like Dylan's one of the most covered songwriters out there. So to have a cover be that successful, that's amazing.
Remember, you weren't at Catherine's show.
I was not.
She did "Make You Feel My Love," and she really did a beautiful.
I think I texted you. I might have texted you about it.
That's a beautiful song.
Yeah, I'm creaking into the microphone.
No, I like it. It's like the scratches on a record.
So so those, and then there's my band, and then at the end there's that the last waltz moment where we all come out and do something together.
The last waltz.
We are the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that my itinerary is.
It's now incorporated into the event, and I'm going to be I'll play Bob in it and just go.
There you go.
Like that.
Look
completely
unimpressed.
Expressionless. Yeah.
We love it. We love it. I love that so much.
Cocaine much?
That's so
my
funny.
gosh. No, it's going to be a super great show.
Yeah.
We're going to see Miles Goodwin tomorrow.
Where's that?
At the Imperial.
Oh, wow. So is that the trio sort of blues thing? Yeah. A friend of mine used to manage him with that, that thing. I haven't seen it, but it'll be great.
We're just going to go. It's right around the block. So
it's
we've
literally
been trying
down the
to
street.
It's right there.
Try to get out and be safe and good to go and spaced out if we can, but it's been good.
Absolutely.
Like classic albums was really good. Like I
Was
was
that
excited.
was a full audience,
That was
right?
a full audience.
Now, here's a fun fact.
And they give her.
A friend of mine that works at the box office told me that they made over $6,000 or more just in the bar from classic albums live.
Oh, yeah.
And usually they make like 3
Or less, yeah. Oh no, that's
so I was like, and people were literally carrying like 4
any
drinks
of those
at a
classic album shows.
Yeah.
I've only been to one. I think my brother-in-law took me to a Pink Floyd one or something years ago. It might have been, but like before the show, just the weed and everything outside, just coming down the alleyways, and then you go and they're like they are double into the chairs, and then at the break back outside. You know, it's a shit show.
But now you can drink the entire show.
Yes.
So
it's
like
finally
I found
civilized.
like I found it actually really hard to watch the show because like every probably song the couple was getting up to go get another drink, and I was like, you know, it'd be different if it was like a 3 or 4 hour show, but like the intermission, it's only 45 minutes, so grab a couple beer, sit, and then go grab it. But people don't really, and I'm not trying to judge. I mean, go out and have your time.
It's
but
an observation.
But like to me, like I think, you know, sit down, have your thing, or get a couple and sit down and be good to the patrons around you as well.
The care and feeding of the live audience thing is a whole other conversation.
And then I think of all those elderly ladies trying to pick up all the cups at the end of the night.
Oh yeah,
and
like my mother-in-law.
But that's what I'm saying. And I saw them, and they were like, I went and I just tried to get some of the ones that were like under my seat. But I just thought like that's like it's so kind of grody that they would do that.
Oh,
so
they think they're at the 3 Mile or something,
Right.
you know, and it's like
and then I think like school kids are going in the next day for like a field trip to like watch like a French immersion presentation
or ballet.
And it's just like I know that you can't get the smell of peppers out of peppers, so I don't know how they do it in the Imperial. Do they just like fumigate it? Like I don't know.
Febreze just falls down from the atmosphere.
But you can't even smell
Gallons
that.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Maybe it's an Irving thing. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't say that.
No, that didn't happen.
Canceled. Canceled. The podcast is over. The domains are expired. We're over. There's a knock on the door, guys. The podcast is over. So sorry.
If you don't hear from us.
No. And even when I went to Blue Rodeo, I was a little bit kind of about it because obviously it was the first thing back since COVID. People were friggin' wild. Did you go to that?
Not a fan.
Yeah, but I mean, I went and like I just really thought
my sister-in-law said it was. I knew
it was a phenomenal show.
Yeah, it would be, but the yammering and the noise up and down the stairs and everything would drive. There'd be a homicide.
There was a part, and I talked about it on the last episode, and people made fun, but I was like, they were like drinking vodka in a field for the first time or something, because there'd be people standing up in the most beautiful like piano moments, right, where Jim Cuddy's like singing, and these people would just be like, everybody stand up, but like way more belligerent, way more intense. And they do it like 20 times. Come on, everybody stand up. This song's beautiful. And then they'd be spilling beer all over people.
I'd have to kill someone.
And I was just like, man, what's the security? Like,
security!
You know, and so like I like going to shows at like the Imperial. I would have much rather have gone to see Blue Rodeo at the Imperial.
Can you imagine what they're going to be like at Harvest?
So,
oh man, that's going to be.
Because the big tent at Harvest is the loudest place on earth.
Yes,
I haven't done Harvest in years.
Same.
Yeah, last time I went to Harvest was Tedeschi Trucks years and years ago.
I went. I go when I play it.
Yeah, so, that makes sense.
So because you get the pass,
right?
Yeah.
You know, but like to be fair, was it 3 years ago? Jason Isbell played Harvest, and it was the most quiet, reverential, listening crowd I've ever heard in there ever. It was amazing. I only had to shut 3 guys up.
What'd you do?
I just towered over them and intimidated them physically and said,
Good for you.
I did not come.
Also, Brent is being hired as a security guard, so if you need his services, he's not going to Ireland anymore. He's a security guard.
I'm not that guy. But yeah, so that happened, and then the next night, I think I was at Plaskett. I really like Joel Plaskett a lot, and there was 3 people behind me, and I just turned around and said, come on, man, I'm here to listen to the show, not listen to you talk about, then I said, and she said, and anyway, that's a whole other thing.
But that is the case, and I think a lot of people, when we come out and we're talking about like,
well, you're a music fan,
mental health and things, like people have a really hard time sometimes going out to the things that they love. Sometimes whether it be money or time or whatever it is. So when you get out there, sometimes when musicians say like, how's everyone doing out there? Some people are in a really confusing emotional space, and the music's there to really help them. And to have to babysit people around you, or to have manners, or
it can ruin the show.
Oh my god, it
me.
can actually make you have like a flare up.
Yeah, sure. I thought that Plaskett thing, I thought that was going to get a little, because the guy got in my face a bit, and
did he? Yeah.
And I said, man, did we lose the?
Oh no, it's all good. Just go to camera, Sharice.
So we're still live.
And turn it. No, you got to turn it. Sorry, guys. Just having a video malfunction. And we're good. All good. That's going to be a 2-parter file. But no, like I think that sometimes that does play a part into it. And so a lot of times, like whether it be virtual shows or whatever, that is a bit why it is more appealing to some people, because then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. I think that with COVID, what it's done is a couple of things. It's kept people home, obviously, but it's also, there have been new ways of experiencing music and things in general that for those situations you're talking to are probably more palatable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? You were saying how good the live stream looked last year of the Dylan show, and I looked at some of it after, and it looked, it was like, wow, that's a really good show. I don't mind watching a really good show,
Right. I mean, if Blue Rodeo had been virtual at Harbor Station, I probably would have bought the ticket.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they were $80.
Good God.
Like,
it's a lot of dough.
I know. Anyways, not to get on the hoopla on shows, but I mean, those are the things that come with it. So when we're coming back and, trying to get people to come out and enjoy themselves, not just whether it be about Dylan or whatever, but actually have a moment and see the people that you live and surround yourselves around, and the things you see on Facebook, and you put them together. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I've been trying to go out to these other things, is like, I really could, it's not that I care less. I don't really want to go out, honestly, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm still in the ecosystem and trying to,
well, you have to change your behavior again,
Yeah.
And that's not the easiest thing to do.
But I mean, all that to say, like, I think, from a consideration perspective, I hope that people will be a little bit more conscientious, especially considering how we know what it can be like, right? So going back out to shows, like, just try to, maybe just get a couple and set them by your feet and just chill out.
Take a flask in so you don't have to get out.
They don't check your bags. Okay, guys?
Take your whiskey in.
Sorry, Imperial Theatre, but they don't check your bags. So
just be discreet.
That's what I've got to say. But anyways.
So before we wrap up the episode, I planned a little segment.
A strange segment.
I don't know how it's going to go. It could be, we might end up cutting it out if it goes terribly.
If it sucks, leave it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can humiliate me.
Okay. So Bob Dylan fan. No. The thing is, though, I say this because, like, if this was done to me, like, I'd probably, I could
freeze. I could totally.
You could freeze. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But it's all in good fun, and I think, like, it could spark some little conversations around the selection. So it's Bob Dylan lyric trivia. So this was inspired by our friend Neil Bonner, who hosts music trivia here in St. John. And in that, during when he hosts his trivia games, there's a segment called Dramatic Readings. And he does, he selects.
It's always Wednesday night, so I could never go to that, right?
Right. Yeah. We usually would alternate. Yeah. So he would select songs, and he would read them in a dramatic fashion, and they're always so funny, and it was so entertaining, and you had to guess what song it was, because, like, you're not hearing it in its normal context, and
melody,
you're kind of distracted by how it's being read. So I went and I selected some Dylan lyrics. And I'm going to try to read them dramatically, in a dramatic fashion, or differently. And I'd like to see if you guess.
I might try one of these, since I don't know any of them.
Jump in.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Watch you guess, like, all of them.
I won't even be doing it in the right flow. You guys, what is she even saying about those lyrics?
Just string words together, and you could.
He doesn't say it like that.
You can use your phone and Google.
Yeah, Shazam.
That won't work.
No, it will not work in this case. Okay. First one. Oh, the farmers and the businessmen, they all did decide to show you where the dead angels are that they used to hide. But why did they pick you to sympathize with their side? How could they ever mistake you?
Tombstone Blues?
You want to take a second guess?
No.
Sad-eyed lady of the
Oh,
lowlands.
shit. Oh, no.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So
That's amazing. Okay, now
Wow.
it's on.
It's
now.
on.
Wow.
So
That's really. Okay.
I chose this
I
one.
was going this. I had the rhythm.
No, but I chose this one because I was listening. I've been really into the Richie Havens cover of this song. He does a beautiful cover, and it's been on repeat. So that's how it made it into the selection. Mm-hmm. Okay, you ready for number 2?
I hate failing so miserably in the
Okay,
first
this one might be. I think you get this one. It's pretty iconic.
Okay.
She was there in the meadow where the creek used to rise.
I'm in trouble already.
Blinded by sleep and in need of a bed. I came in from the east with the sun in my eyes.
ISIS.
Yes. Yay! From the Desire album. Yay!
Thank you. Good night.
That's what I'm doing.
We are the world.
Okay. All right. Number 3.
The reading it really throws it. It's
Right.
neat. Very
Challenging.
interesting.
We had to do this at Imperial Theatre.
That's like, yeah, we
You
should
have
do
like a prize package.
That's how we'll start it out with the MC. You could have an MC up there with a dramatic reading, and then
Yeah.
choose the first
Maybe
act.
Charisse, yeah.
Ruh-roh. She's got
So-
a gig.
Something to think about.
Okay, number 3. Up on Housing Project Hill, it's either fortune or fame. You must pick one or the other. Neither of them are to be what they claim. If you're looking to get silly, you better go back from where you came, because the cops don't need you, and man, they expect the same.
Just like Tom Thumb's Blues.
You got it. You know, I do.
Yay! Boney.
Which Jessica is going to sing. Is
Oh.
she singing this? I think she's singing this at the
Love
Imperial.
it. Great. Awesome. Okay.
That's a song that Phil Lesh sings with the Grateful Dead occasionally. Used to
Oh, really?
just pull it out, every 10 years or so.
That's awesome. Yeah.
The more you
He's
know.
a horrible singer.
The more you know.
The more you know. Okay, so this one might be a bit challenging.
Right.
It depends.
Good.
All right, we're gonna see.
8 challenges.
I don't know, but like, you'll-
Got enough.
I hear that.
what's new, pussycat? What I say? I said the soul of a nation been torn away, and it's beginning to go into a slow decay, and that it's 36 hours past Judgment Day. Wolfman Jack, he's speaking in tongues. He's going on and on at the top of his lungs.
That's not Murder Most Foul, is it? Yeah.
Yay!
to even get a snippet of a 17-minute song, I'm quite proud of myself on that
Yes,
one.
like I was thinking, like it's a newer one, but like it's also his, like it was a huge bombshell when it dropped, and everyone was
Incredible.
The Wolfman Jack thing, I was like, why do I don't know this. I don't know this. But then I was like, I do know that.
yeah.
I didn't know the song, but I just remember that.
He references a lot of other musical artists in that song.
Yeah, and it's just such a time piece, isn't it? It's it's couched in this vault of this frozen American. It's kind of the end of America in a way.
Yeah.
Where, the idea of what America might be is what might have been, or might have been perceived as being is. I think it's the end of that. That's what that song is.
Right. And I always can't get over the timing of that song. Like it came out during like when everyone went into lockdown, and it was just like we didn't,
We can go on such a tangent.
You know how Bo Burnham did his Netflix special? I wonder what Bob Dylan did.
Oh well, he was getting ready to grace us. Like I remember when he kept releasing singles, and it was like, is he dropping an album? Is dropping an album? And I'm like,
But I mean, like the real day to day.
real day to day.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does day to day.
Well, he does a lot of metal work.
Yes, and yeah,
Like
That's cool.
And painting.
welding and painting and stuff
cool.
like
Yes.
that. And he's got grandkids, and
Yeah.
let's not forget that he's just a guy
Yeah.
with kids and
Yeah, he's got-
grandkids.
he's a human.
yeah, that's allegedly.
Allegedly.
I think he's an alien. But what do I know?
You never know these days.
All right. So final one.
So I'm 3 out of 4. Not
Yes.
so bad. I can't believe I didn't get the first one. That's stupid.
I just didn't hear it right. That's okay. Must have
I
been
wasn't. No,
must have been
I
my
had it
vision.
written.
I
I
gave
was
you a
like-
second chance
I
too.
was no.
Oh, see, I
Rub
tried
it in.
to-
Rub it in there.
I know she's bad at it, man. She's bad at it. She loves it. She's very blunt sometimes.
You make me need a blunt if you're going to keep doing that.
All right. So last one. We're going to bring it all back home.
Oh.
See what I did
there?
there?
A hint?
No, it's not actually.
You can't do that. I'm honing in on one record now.
You should know this one.
Oh God, more pressure.
Or maybe don't. No, it's okay. I might.
Okay.
It's okay. No pressure. No pressure. Good vibes.
Pressure.
Okay.
I got pressure. Oh, yeah.
People see me all the time, and they just can't remember how to act. Their minds are filled with big ideas, images, and distorted facts. Even you, yesterday, you had asked me where it was at. I couldn't believe after all these years, you didn't know me any better than that.
Idiot wind.
Yeah! Yay! I was gonna wait, like, it's gonna go, idiot wind. Awesome. So yeah, you got 4 out of 5.
Which is okay, but I'm still disappointed in that I didn't get that's.
It's just a warm up. It was a first warm up.
It's a really neat exercise because you have to remove all rhythm and melody from your head and just dive into the linear kind of lyric thing. It's different.
Awesome. Well, thank you for indulging in that. That was fun. That was successful. I think we'll keep it in the show.
Oh yeah, this is staying in the show. Absolutely.
Amazing. Well,
speaking of in the show, come to the show. It's a great it's a great show. It's May 7th at the Imperial, and it's May 24th at the Playhouse in Fredericton. And the Fredericton, here's a little challenge for you St. John people, but the Fredericton show is selling way better than the St. John show right now.
Not shocked, but shame.
Well, if you're
just their
seeing
first
this,
time
hearing
up
this,
there, right?
share this. We want to pack the Imperial Theatre. We want to have a celebration. We'll be there. Strange Grooves on the Move. It'll be great.
Yeah. So please, carve out a Saturday night there in a couple of weeks, and we'll do it up.
Absolutely. And all the links and info on where to get tickets will be in the show notes and in the blog, so you'll find it easily. There is no excuses.
None.
It'll be so fast, so efficient. Just click add to cart, bam, go into the show. Meet you outside the what do they call it? What is that called? Oh my God.
The will call?
No,
what?
Not the
marquee?
Yes. I couldn't think of what it was. I was like, Jumbotron.
You see at the IMAX.
Yeah. I was like, okay, like Christ. God, what is happening?
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fred.
Thank you so much.
It's been a year.
I know.
It went like that.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
And until next time, keep it strange.
Keep it strange.
We're thriving. Maybe.